you're running a public transportation service, and you're quick to say, "Oh well, when government close, we close." And I'm like, really? So what happened to the people that don't have transportation, that needs to get around, despite having, that don't have transportation, but you need to get around.
Well,
You know, you can't even find a taxi these days. One day I stood up by Sonyel and the corner there trying to get a taxi.
you mean old style taxi
Yeah,
bus?
old style taxi bus. And I've been there for like 2 hours before a taxi bus came.
Well, the reality is that we need some type of transit system that can help to get people around. Uh, if for no other reason than convenience or the economics of it. People will go out and spend money knowing that they have a secured, reliable way back home. Whether it's the movies or whether it's out to dinner, whatever the case, they'll go out and they'll spend their money in the community. So it's kind of short sighted to take the kind of attitude that I see in the government toward promoting choices in transportation. Now, I once upon a time I used to work with a taxi federation, and the taxi drivers were a different uh, group of people then, a more robust group of people, a more active in the community group
Mm-hmm.
of people. The taxi drivers could go to and get discounts simply because they had the numbers. Since COVID, as well as Mother Nature at work, the ranks of taxi drivers has really been decimated. And the kind of traffic we used to have for the regular taxi bus on the road, well, it isn't there. I don't see it. It doesn't mean that it can't come back. But after through COVID, people got into certain habits.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here in the Virgin Islands, we have the mentality, and I'm talking in generalities, folks. So please, nobody take personal anything out of this. But if you ain't got a car, you ain't nobody. Don't complain about nothing. Just go get a car. If you have a car, then you're in the right place. Otherwise, you need to go find someplace else to live if you're looking for other means of transportation. All right? Either that, and you can't even go and run up a Hess man. Hess gone.
To get Grenada. Look how lyrics will come back.
You know?
But listen,
um,
I read in an article about an app called VI Hail,
mm-hmm,
which is VI Hail is like St. Croix Uber.
mm-hmm.
It's like Virgin Islands Uber, but it's VI Hail is the name of the app on the App Store and the Play Store and stuff like that. And I downloaded it and I started using it. Okay, it's less than calling a taxi man to come pick you up from your house, and it is hella reliable. Okay, I've used it to go to the store to shop and go back. I've used it for several different things. I mean, I would catch Vitran out, and then I would use them to go back home.
But
You
you
get
see, in the old days, we wouldn't even have a VI Uber, simply because I would tell you politically,
no, this is VI Hail.
hail. A VI Uber. You said it's a VI Uber.
Yeah, but the
No, no.
Uber.
I just.
Uh-huh.
I'm not changing what you say. I'm just saying. Once
Hmm.
upon a time, the taxi drivers were politically active in a way
Yeah.
and an extent that senators and governors alike, you know, were hesitant to say they won't cross them. Now, times have changed. One, because the ranks and availability of taxi out on the street are just ain't there. So I don't know what politically they could raise their voice to say because you're not providing the service. So even though there wasn't something on the books, you know, folks want to know how VI Hail, VI Uber, whatever you want to call it, would work here. Well, it working.
No,
And,
there- there's two of them.
yes, what I'm
Yeah.
saying,
Hmm.
whatever that type of transportation
Yeah.
doesn't fit underneath the umbrella that you'll find in the VI code, but it's
Listen.
working, and it ain't no going back because what has happened is that you don't have taxi bus the way you used to have taxi bus,
Hmm.
and even so, you had to go to a certain route to catch taxi bus.
Yeah.
Okay, my sister come down here and she could go down to the market in Christiansted and catch Vitran and go places. So she learned real quick the difference between transit here and transit there. And now on top of that, with the taxi, the regular dollar, $2, $3, whatever it would cost taxi, it just ain't there. You really just taking your chances about whether or not you're going to just stand on the side of the road for all day or half of the day before you might see a taxi that full. You know,
True.
and under those circumstances, who going to? That's not good. That's not good for commerce. That's not good for business. That's not good for
Right.
community. So we gotta figure out something, and I think that as a matter of policy, something needs to be done to promote.
Well, there's a right share legislation that they have out. If you go on via Hill on Facebook, you could sign the petition. But I would advise people who are listening to my voice right now. You have a Facebook page. Go on, look for BI Hill, sign the petition, talk to your senators, and tell them you want this thing to be come to the floor to pass because it is something that we need here in the Virgin Islands. I mean, I'm a blind individual, and it works out fine for me. Okay, because I cannot rely on Vitran. Vitran doesn't work past 5 o'clock. VI Hill is 24 hours. If I need to go someplace, I can use it to go at night.
Okay.
So I mean, it's just it's common sense. You know, and it's a local person. Fortunately enough, I found out that his father and my father was good friends. You so it's local. Made the app was created by a local for locals. You understand? It's not nobody come here from nowhere to do this. It's a locally owned business. So as we say, support your own. You understand? Support your own.
Well, the key thing is getting good service. Period.
And the service is good.
Okay, that is the point. Getting good service.
Yeah. I wouldn't be talking about it if they were pissing me off. I would have tell you if you know me already, Doug. If it was
High
nonsense,
road, Gerald. High road.
I'd have come out and tell you, don't waste your time, download this app. But I'm
Mm.
telling you, download the app. It works, and it works very well.
Okay.
And you could even go work for them too, cause they have the app for the drivers.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Well, it's 14 minutes after the hour, and I just want folks to know that around 9 o'clock we have folks from the Relay for Life coming in here to talk with us. Of course, from our community calendar that Relay for Life is practically right around the corner next month. Okay. So it's one of those things that, yes, we're talking about it because Relay for Life coming up, but we need to talk about it in a bigger context that the fight against cancer is unfortunately right now a never-ending fight. And for those people that going along with life and think everything copacetic, good, so forth and so on, well, that's how it has worked until you, a friend, a family member, someone close to you, otherwise gets that message that cancer is in the neighborhood or at your house. You know, it's a serious thing. And the folks that I talk to ain't none of them ever say, oh, cancer, all right. No. It's a gut punch. But the key is, if you're at that stage, the key is to act and act in a timely manner. But more important, which is the thing to stress the most, is that of prevention, if it's possible, or being vigilant about doing things like eating right, not doing the sedentary life thing, Like, I know a few people who sit down in front of the TV all day and watch the same news station that repeats the same thing every 15 minutes. Not good, folks. Not good. Not good at all. That sedentary life, you got to get up, walk, get involved with a youth organization. Do something. Keep that body moving. Because when it stop moving, it make it more likely for things to catch up. But
excuse me.
nutrition,
Especially if
health,
it's one of them propaganda
exercise,
station.
yes, exercise, uh, and doing the appropriate checkups. You know, the 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 ladies the ladies out there, when we go to the various functions, they have things that they use as an example to show you what needs to be done. They have pictures, slides, whatever. I went to UVI the other day. They had a program there and it was very good in conjunction with Department of Health. And then you have the men, you know. You have the men. No. There's so many different types of cancer, too many different types of cancers, but we always hear about breast cancer and prostate cancer. As we should and the emphasis should be. But there are other things to be checking. Uterine cancer, you know, the doctors, the young lady and significant other there, she gone to her doctor and he know what all the doctor does do, but then come over to prostate and he's saying, well, I ain't going doctor because no doctor ain't doing that to me. It's about your health. We've lost too many of our men in our community to that attitude, which allowed cancer to run wild and take them away from us. Right? Anyhow, I want you to know about the Relay for Life. It's coming up. It's a lot of fun. You see a lot of people you haven't seen in a long time. You engage in a camaraderie in this fight, and keep it moving till we could run cancer out of tongue. Right? One thing for sure in this life, if you're sitting around in your mind doing nothing, it's because you're watching everybody else or everybody else going on with life, because there's never a situation where there's nothing to do. There's always something to do. Whether it's fun to do or not, that's a whole nother story. But anyhow, so I was looking at the community calendar, and sometimes you go through, there's a whole lot of activity, and then things slow down. Well, there's a new kid in town called Easter. So a lot of people activity is surrounding Easter, whether from the religious perspective, the camping perspective, the holiday perspective, whatever perspective. A lot of folks kind of slowing it down and relaxing. Yeah, yeah. All right. So I don't know that there's ever been a juve at Easter. Okay, the closest we come to that, as far as I know, was when the man was on a donkey coming into the town, and everybody was hailing him up and jumping up and having such a good time, and everything else. But we know what happened after that, right? Okay. And as we sometimes say, especially politicians, if it could happen to him. Oh, yes. Anyhow, today is the first day in the rest of your life. Make the best of it, every moment of it. And for sure, do a random act of kindness. If you're feeling bored, do some premeditated acts of kindness. Okay, don't let up. Okay, it's just like that. Now, in terms of things that have been going on in the community, I got a chance to see a little bit of the young people thing versus old people thing. It was fun. I tell you what, the children had a great time. And the parents who had those children out there and had them positively engaged so that they could take a breather, they had a good time. All right. And of course, all the performances from the children go right up to adults. Everybody had a good time. I was watching those children play domino in the domino contest. I watched it. The young man, when he win it, he jump up and he said, "I won!" So I said, "Wow!" You see that energy and say, "Hey." So all the sponsors, all the people who invested in this program, I personally want to say thank you, because it was something that I feel was beneficial for the community. But I'm sure that other people have their thoughts, and I'll let them share that along the way. Okay? 340-773-0390 is our call number. 773-0490 is the second number. So let's see here. See this blinking? Okay, no, that's the phone blinking there. Something isn't right with that. Okay, good. All right, Jared.
Talk to me.
You know, Easter is a quiet time, and I say that just as a child. Sometimes it could seem like a boring time, but for me, I used to really look forward to it in the context of going camping. Now, camping, back in them days, we had some cots. You bring your sheet and your blanket and maybe your pillow. Okay? But it was camping in the true sense.
Mm-hmm.
Going fishing. My father had a little battle, a little engine on it. I used to go out,
What call it?
A battle.
A battle?
Yeah. You know what a battle is? Everybody should know what battle
What talk about a dinghy?
A small boat, yeah. Small dinghy.
Yeah, we call that a dinghy.
Yeah, but
Me never hear called bateau.
okay. Well, hey, welcome to the club of Crucian language. You can't know it all. You gotta hang around with the right people sometimes to learn some of these things. But yeah, that and he made that boat himself. Okay, from scratch, caulking, painting, everything, and it worked like a charm. So anyhow, I would get to go out with that. We would also have the scene out there, so you go through the process of throwing out the scene, and then everybody pulling it in from the two ends, bringing it in to the
Is that the fishing net?
to well, when you say a fishing net, a lot of people think about the throw net.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking about the scene. The boat goes out,
Mm-hmm.
and as the boat is going out, you're offloading the net, a long, long net. So the
Mm-hmm.
boat goes out in a circle or come across and you pull it in from both ends.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Comes up on the beach with all the fish and everything else there, plopping up, jumping up and down, whatever. Of course, whatever is to throw back, you throw back. Sometimes you have things in there you just don't want. Um, but I remember that experience. But now, of course, we can't do that anymore.
No,
The use of seine is, for all practical purposes, illegal. No.
yeah.
Okay.
We can't fish in our water. We got aquarium out there. We can't.
Well, I wouldn't say it like that. I wouldn't say it like that. I would say that our fish stock here has been mismanaged, and I'll go on a little bit further. Okay, because we would for Easter go down by Great Pond. Okay, I mean we're out on South Shore camping anyhow, but we go down to Great Pond
Mm-hmm.
and we would pull the seine inside the pond, and the prime fish that was there was called mullet.
Mm-hmm.
And exaggerating now, we get tons of mullet. Not tons, but a whole heck of a lot. And the the when I went in there with my father, I would never want to go in. I would be up on his back. And he encouraged me to get off of his back and get in the water because it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I finally did say, okay, I can trust you on this one and come down, it was nice because what happens is throughout the day, the heating of the sun, the bottom of the pond is a kind of a muddy consistency and it is warm.
Mm-hmm.
So from that point on, it was no problem. I go in Great Pond with you guys, no problem. Okay, and the fishing, the experience was great. I can talk about these things. Like I said, the challenge now is that those things aren't legal and aren't done here. But I believe we have mismanaged our fishing stock here in the Virgin Islands. Nothing is impossible to break. I remember when my father would come up here to Lagoon
Mm-hmm.
and they would catch shrimp to get
Mm-hmm.
ready to go out fishing. And I talking wash pan upon wash pan upon wash pan. If you see one or two little shrimp and then no, you would and you were aware of what it was like before, you will realize in that context how bad things have gotten. Now, whatever fish used inside the pond there behind Lagoon
Mm-hmm.
as an estuary, a place for breeding and the younger fish getting to a stage before they can go back out into the ocean. But you got people with net there. Every little thing come up, boom, boom, my God. So we've basically not exercised discipline, and we have decimated that function. So we don't have an estuary that's causing a, con, a sustainable, okay, sustainable availability of fish for people to be able to fish through net and so forth and so on. Every little thing got through net flinging and, you know, what ain't big enough to eat getting used as bait to throw out on somebody line. All right. Anyhow, so I got a call here.
Line two,
All
yeah.
right. Good morning, WSTX.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Happy Easter to all. Happy crucifixion, resurrection, and whatever else we don't call it.
Happy Easter to you too.
I heard you said a while ago something about understanding to talk crucial. Let me see if you say something. Let me see if I understand it.
No, man, no, you're going the wrong road.
You're talking very soft.
Okay, all right. The what it is that I had mentioned the battle,
Uh-huh.
and Jared hadn't heard that word before.
Oh.
Okay, a battle being a small boat, usually the type of boat where
Yeah, we
someone.
used to make them from time I was in Savannah, little boy.
Okay, all right. Well, okay. So,
Yeah.
but
So how come
Jared was
Gerald-
still in diapers or a concept at that time.
I
So
I wasn't even a concept at that time there, sir.
Oh, you wasn't even thought of.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Dougie,
I came around years later.
yeah, but I hope everyone was listening to really understand what Dougie mean when he was saying that we have overmanaged or whatever managed our estuary and the fishing.
failed to manage. Yeah.
Because there's the father with his wash pan and shrimp and things.
Yeah. He come back to haunt you, see?
Listen, you know, Dougie, I had a similar experience with my dad, and as you were saying that, this just now it all came back to me, except that he was a master carpenter and a boat builder, a shipwright.
Uh-huh.
But he never fished. He would go to the beach, take us to the beach, and he'd go and he'd dive. He would dive right from to the shore, and you don't see him again till you can't see him way out yonder. And then he would always take me out and he'd back and then tell me, get up. I can't stand up. Hey, but those were good. The camping situation, I had a little piece of it on St. Croix, and it was with one time I was Senator Hans used to keep inviting me all the time. You are gentlemen, no, come over, come over. But I was going into to Washington D.C. But I had they changed my trip. I come through St. Croix, so I had some friends take me out there. And when I bust away the brass side of my stomach with food, I tell Jokey, I go where? We're gonna be here for days. I said, no, man, I gotta catch a plane. So I left, you know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so, I mean, it is good, and I really would like to spend a Easter over there with the camping and what's that. To me, it is so family tradition-like.
Yeah, but it has changed though. It has changed.
So hard.
Camping used to be a more austere type of thing. Now, everything that in the living room, they're out on the beach now.
Yeah, so
Hey, AC and all, no.
AC and all.
AC and all.
yeah, you're
remember-
on the outside, no, you're just like you're inside.
I remember I had a guy, I think what I don't know how he fashioned it, but he fashioned his tent to have a portable air conditioner in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, really?
And he would say, really.
Huh?
And he would respond, really.
Now, I understand from another talk show host that camping spaces may be dwindling.
Yeah. Yes and no. Let's say that the amount of people coming out is such that it's a competition for space.
See,
you know, that's the challenge, is that more and more people going out, and it's
Right.
a chance to get them children out the house and for several days and in that experience. So I think that's what we're seeing more and more. The only way it could dwindle is if we're losing access to our beaches. Now,
Okay.
there's a place
Okay.
out South Shore, not South Shore, North Shore, over the beach,
Yeah.
past the marina. Okay,
Uh,
this is where Columbus ship supposedly came in over there, right? Okay,
uh,
where he supposedly
Columbus
discovered
landing.
discovered people. Anyhow, but when you pass that, and just as you pass the marina, there's a road that you could take, and I'm talking for the benefit of those who know what I'm talking about, and I know that a lot
yeah.
of people may not
I
know.
know a little
But
bit about
anyhow,
it, though.
you take that road and you go down, and there's a beach, and a lot of people camp there.
Yes.
And not only that, there was some very serious Taino artifacts that were collected from that area that
Is
are
that right?
and are, as far as I know, still in Denmark, and
Wow.
the place is worth maintaining in that context. However,
Uh-huh.
it's private land, and
But do
when
they
an,
know who the owner of the land is?
of course,
Campage.
Okay.
of course, but the people are saying Croy need to impress upon their government that the same way St. Thomas could buy a beach, we could buy them that land there to preserve the
Yeah, but
historical significance.
then they turn it
Of,
over to
of course. You know,
they
I
turn
could
it over
build
to
a mine
national
run
park.
and link with beach.
I,
But when they purchased, but it wasn't to me, that wasn't really a
They
purchase.
talking about
The
house right,
family owed so much blasted money in taxes that
no,
it was
the
like an
house right
exchange
above
kind of thing.
well, no,
You know?
Sorry
yeah.
River Beach.
Yeah, but Jad was asking something about the land being turned over to
Ca-
Park Service.
Yeah, 'cause I think
So
Okay.
they turned over the house and thing
Yeah,
to
when that turning
Jad,
over land
that's
to
one
park
part.
service, I
uh-huh.
suspect you wouldn't have that anymore.
Right. But what I'm saying is that there is more land there that
Hmm.
has cultural artifact type of significance to the Virgin Islands.
Uh-huh.
And that's
And
why it
when
should be preserved,
and when
right?
that land is sold, that the land is along the beach, so you're
Mhm.
literally
Okay.
going down the road to get to the beach.
Yeah.
Now people can go down there and you have space to bring a vehicle down, so you could bring your things down and everything else. That could be
Right.
put in jeopardy,
Okay.
okay, in that context. All right.
I see.
So we need
I
to
see.
exercise a little foresight and go and buy that property. And I'm gonna tell you, I I'm gonna stir up some things here because
Tight up, stop the pot.
no, this is something.
You should not poke the bear.
Look, I love everybody. Okay, start off with that. But I have to
Yeah.
I have it to give it to the Centomians how time after time again they're able to rally a majority to buy land for beach,
Hmm.
and somehow they are in St. Croix. Okay, people taking things for granted. St. Thomas ain't taking it for granted. You're saying we gonna wake up one day and have a condo built there and we can enjoy the space we used to enjoy before.
That's true.
In
That's
St.
true.
Croix, we need to have that same type of initiative. One of the
Yeah.
things we got a law that supposedly is to protect our historic trees, and in St. Croix, you know the mahogany trees going down the road. And then
Uh-huh.
you pass one time, you got a tree, and you pass another time, and the tree gone.
Yeah.
And you know that you can't put up a tower for telecommunications without posting a notice in the public and otherwise notifying the public that you would like to get one posted there.
That's true.
So why can't we have the system work so that if you're interested in cutting down a tree, you have to give public notice, have a discussion on the matter, and I ain't saying the tree ain't gonna cut down, but in the process they could say, well, okay, you could cut that one, but you have to plant two more in two places that
Right.
we approve of. Okay?
Right. It has to be an orderly thing.
Right, orderly and something that's not going to end up in us taking down all of our cover. all these trees.
Exactly. But let me go by saying this. The youth and former Senator Gordon Brown comes to mind, and not so much that because he was Commissioner of Conservation and Cultural Affairs, but there used to be some commission, authority, something, was it historic preservation that he was a member of it? There's something that comes to mind that it seems as if you don't hear anything about it anymore.
No, well, they're there, but as you may be aware, very often we either have a problem with um, membership on these particular boards, and if not membership, then the way they run, some people may have an issue with here or there. But no, they're there. The thing is it a priority for us?
Well,
Okay.
and that's right. But you see, they wouldn't have a problem with membership if they put you, Gerald, and myself on those boards, and with that I gone.
Okay, talk with
You
you.
look in trouble for me.
Well, one of the things.
I want to say something, dog.
Yeah.
You.
Can I finish off of what he just said?
Yeah.
Because he trying to give you up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Volunteering to be on a board is one thing. I have witnessed, unfortunately, how some people have been treated when they come before the legislature. And it's very unfortunate because you ain't got nobody else who step up, but they're beating up the people them who say I'll volunteer and help.
They need to give them a stipend for their troubles.
Well, stipend or no stipend, the fact that these people willing to take on the trouble, you know,
Yeah.
you gotta have a different perspective. When you step up before that legislature, I don't need to see nothing on your face. I don't like you. Oh, I hear this about you. Or that. No. Let's stick to
I can't
what
see
it is you're here for. No, because
I can't see the face. So
you might smell that. You might not like the perfume.
that's true. Or their breath.
Anyhow, you go ahead.
Or their breath. But anyway,
It won't be that close to them.
well, yeah, the blind people know it's very strong here.
Okay.
But anywho, I was reading an article this morning. They want to put up a tower for Noah. You know what's Noah?
Yeah. NOAA.
Yes.
Yes, that's the folks who do the weather.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why is the legislature pushing back on it?
Well, I would need to know more as to what the tower is for and where it is because
To help they think NOAA collect data on the weather and stuff like that here in the Virgin Islands. And it's like, yeah. So somebody put in the comments, if it was a cell tower, it had been up like yesterday. And I'm like,
like a gas station.
yeah, you know what I mean? They put up all these gas stations all over the island. I mean, which we don't need all of them. But there's a lot of gas stations.
They got a moratorium now after everybody don't get the license of building gas stations.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, anywho, my thing is they put up moratoriums on cell towers. But then you're complaining of poor cell service. Any person who's into tech or knows anything about technology, the FCC and stuff like that, a cell phone is a digital device.
Mm-hmm.
It runs on line of sight. Digital means line of sight. It's not analog that have that wavy form up and down, up. It's line of sight. If you can't see the tower, you ain't got no service. Okay? And you need at least 10 to 15 cell sites if you want great service on this island. Okay? So why did you put up a moratorium and then you want to hold the cell phone companies accountable? It's like you tie my hand behind my back and say me fighting back. You understand? You got my hand tied and you punching me. I can't hit you back. You know, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. People complain about the cell towers. Oh, so much radiation. Da, da, da. But then there's a cell phone in everybody's hand. And then when they can't make a call, the signal low, the signal lost, whatever. Oh, these are service. Da, da, da. But you need to put up towers in order to get proper cell service. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, well, you see, like you said, they know what they want, okay, but they also know what they don't want. Okay.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah. You have anything to do with that?
Man, listen.
Okay. Anyhow, yeah. Well, we have. You have to understand these things, and you understand it in that context. But you have people who believe they're supposed to have money, but they ain't supposed to work. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
in general terms, there's something kind of inconsistent. Yeah, you might inherit money. Yeah, you might win the lottery or whatever. But as a general proposition, people work for the money.
Yeah.
Growing your plants or making your furniture or being an electrician, whatever.
Or you put the money to work for you so you don't have to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways and means to do what you need to get done. But in this case, like I said, take off the moratorium and put up the blasted towers so people could get proper cell service.
I hear you.
You know?
I hear you.
You're trying to hold them, bring them in front of the legislature and accost them, but then you have their hands tied. I never see more foolishness.
Yeah. Well, foolishness it is for certain. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know. Just like you hear somebody complain about, I heard somebody calling on another radio station complaining about the Vitron service. And I was like, yeah. The definition of insanity. So the person was like, what do you mean? The person next to me was like, what do you mean? I said, well, they have the same person doing the same thing all these years and expecting different results. They need to get rid of who's in charge. Okay, put somebody else in charge that can run the system better to get different results. You know, I mean, when you're going to have buses, you don't have no spare. When it broke down, there ain't no bus service.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, they have about 1,500 clients territory-wide to pick up. I think the most of it is on St. Croix. And they only have 4 buses on the road from morning to 5 o'clock, running back and forth all day.
Yeah.
2 of the new buses so far, transmission went. Okay, so there are just 4 buses.
And these buses got automatic transmission?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the bus then breaking down.
They're having a hard life if they got automatic transmission and they break down.
Yeah, the bus then breaking down because you have no spare buses. You have buses in the yard that you could repair and put on the road if in case of emergency. The bus is just there sitting down.
Okay.
You know, which it makes no blasted sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It makes no sense. Then the driver them gotta come in for their regular time and sit down and wait until when a driver finish work to take that bus and go on the road. Does that make any sense?
Well,
You're paying a man to sit on his behind. Paying a man to come in to work and sit on his behind.
you know,
because you don't have the foresight of having extra buses or fixing what you have there to have a fleet of buses you can use. And then you have a tire man in charge in the mechanic shop. That makes no sense.
Okay.
Before you have a certified diesel mechanic in charge in the mechanic shop to fix your buses, you have a tire man.
Okay. All right. Well, I see my folks from Relay for Life starting
Doing this,
to filter in, and I'm so happy to see them. Okay.
doing the same thing
Yeah.
and
But
expecting
doing the
different
same thing and
results.
expecting a different result. I'm right there. I'm right there with you, and I'm right there with you. But I look at what's happening up north, and this is why I'll say that they came down here and studied this place and went up there and walked in it on them. Okay, because you know how important Social Security is,
Mm-hmm.
and they messing with it. But the outcry, the people who stand most to be adversely affected, the people who, especially those that work all their life and they're not asking you to lend them money or anything else. They're saying, hey, I work for this, and somehow or the other somebody else over there saying, oh, but there must be fraud, there must be this, there must be people over 200 years
Oh.
old on it. We're going to cut back on the people who can answer the phone, so you're going to cut back on the number of places you can go to look about your Social Security, and we're going to make some of them so far away from you that it just, as a practical matter, you can't get there, and we'll make sure you have something
Dougie.
like Vitran there so you could never reach, you know.
I like that
And
one.
I don't hear the outcry and the uproar. And this is what these folks understand. Now,
Listen.
2 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks ago, they had a hands-off protest in the States. Okay. One of them was up the road from where I was, but I didn't know in advance. So otherwise I would have gone. Just to be there.
I like
that
to see you on
peaceful protest
TV.
and everything else. No. I'd have been undercover. But you see these things going on. We had the problem with the lights on the highway for how many years? 20, 30 years, ain't got no lights on the highway.
That's how we see.
And people, well, that's just the way it is. We be thankful we got roads.
Barely.
I mean, be thankful not only that we have roads, but they're adorned with potholes. And when we don't have potholes, we're gonna pave it higher than the manhole, and the manhole will become a pothole. Okay, I'm just saying. I guess I'm being sarcastic.
Or they're gonna do something stupid like raise the manhole cover and have it making noise.
It ain't even raised, Jared, and it making noise. Okay.
Yeah, but no. Where I live, they raise the manhole cover. They cut it out, and they put something around the rim, raise up the rim, and then they pave around it to level it with the road.
Right.
And now every time the bus or a car vehicle pass over it,
In other
clang
words, it
clang.
was improperly done. Not only that, but at some point, if a vehicle hits it the right way, it will actually flip out of there. That's the other thing. So, but my point is, we are here talking about these things, and these things have been going on for what I think could register as donkey years. At what point in time do we say enough is enough? And rise up saying that enough is enough. Okay? Because that's what it comes down to, Jared. Right now, unfortunately, the way things are, to get change, They got folks who they're waiting saying, well, okay, I gonna wait till they're running for office again, and I gonna threaten them with my vote, and da 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 da, and so my road get paved and this get done and that. Is that our modus operandi now? That's how we are walk. I or has it always been? I don't know, but I'm just throwing it out there. Somebody out there have an answer,
Look,
please. Oh, see, I just getting ready to say, and there they
look,
are.
look.
Okay,
We as a people
gotta take a call. Yeah.
need to understand. We are the CEOs of the government.
Okay. Speak up into that. Man.
We need to hire and fire at will. If you go to work for somebody you don't perform, they fire you.
Yes, I hear you, Gerard. I hear you. But a lot of people in these Virginians never run a business. Okay? All right? If you understand where I'm
But they
coming
work
from.
for a business and they know they have to perform.
Well, that's okay.
What
That's okay. In the days of enslavement, you had one person looking at 500 people and say, if you don't do what I say, I'm gonna beat you. And what the 500 were doing? Okay? No. I'm just saying. You may have the numbers, but if you don't have the consciousness, you have to have that consciousness, and that's what
That's what it
it
is. They
starts.
need to wake up.
Anyhow, let me.
All right, let's go to the caller.
Good morning.
Morning, caller.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
You see, I keep saying my problem with listening to talk shows is this way I receive information and get answers to come back and drop a bomb.
Uh-oh.
Now, talking about manhole, I'm sure you guys heard one of Dobby's latest songs, something about manhole bigger than Dalawino and all this kind of thing. I don't know.
I don't know. I heard the one from Generic Pothole.
Well, them two are telling me the Californians are really singing these things in song because the government, I don't know what their plans are, but I was thinking, why don't they just leave the manhole uncovered and allow that to be a manhole in its own right? You see?
What?
The situation with, and it slipped me, there's so much things you were talking about, and I just was making mental notes of them. The other one is what? Oh, gee.
Well, the one thing I would want to resonate is that things will happen when people rise up.
Yeah.
They don't have to be burned down everything, but things will happen when people rise up.
But I rise up, man, but nobody, other people ain't want to rise up. They lying down.
Staying in your living room or talking on the phone to your friend complaining about this, that, and the other, don't fix nothing. Don't fix a thing.
Yeah.
There's some people that like to do that. They feel relevant.
They've been
Let me
trained to do
just say this and go and come back again. It's funny how things have happened. I put out a call, an inquiry, let me put it that way, to my fellow brethren in the industry of power generation, production, transmission, distribution in Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, I sent a copy to the Brotherhood of Civil, Electrical, and Mechanical Engineers, of which I'm a member, in East St. Louis, Missouri, as to what would have cost all power plants in Puerto Rico to fail. I just received an answer just about 5 minutes ago that, and I don't believe that. They say it was vegetation.
It's possible.
They say that I will hold on to that, but we're going to continue digging further.
It's possible because we have had that problem here too. Vegetation.
Yeah, I know, but come in. That should be a lesson to all of us. But now, like you say, here, let me go to here. You remember, was it 3 months ago, maybe? We had some major power failures, particularly on St. Thomas,
Uh-huh.
the new CEO of WAPA, a civil engineer, not electrical,
Uh-huh.
came to the airwaves and smiling and laughing and things. I didn't see there's no smiling and laughing. He didn't, because people suffering like heck. And I asked him when he was saying what has happened and what did, I said, well, tell me something. Don't you have, I said, what happened to Ash Blonde? And I'm sure you know Ash Blonde.
Yes.
It's a worldwide tree trimming company.
Yeah,
Power companies.
they shut
that
down.
work with power companies.
They closed down and went away.
He told me that Ashplon left. I said, Mr. Man, tell the truth. They didn't left. You owe them several $1 million for the stop work.
Yeah.
However, I've been with WAPA in the early days from the 60s to the 80s, and we, regular linemen, myself, and engineer, used to call the tree them. So if you're in the Ashplon or Splonad, you're still in the trees? You see what they ain't got no crew to cut them. I said, so what happened then? Now that all your poles, transformers, miles and miles of lines, reclosers, and all other very expensive equipment born to the ground, you now find millions to replace them. Is that smart business, fella? You see, this is a thing. They don't get mad with me when I talk this way. What do you want me to tell you? Let them bond them. So, night, call day, let them bond them. Don't study nobody. I mean, what else you want me to tell you? Something that I know that we used to do to prevent them from burning down.
Well, you know, all people say prevention better than cure, but not in this case.
Oh, that's what. I know it was some word like that. Forget. Why, thank you for reminding me. No, but seriously, and I know, Doug, you as a man always wanted to be on the side of sense. It would only make sense. Jesus Christ, you know, if you don't cut the trees, you don't burn the line down. Well, cut them.
Yeah, we're going to cut them. Anyway, we are at the top of the hour. We need to take a break. But I'm going to tell you this. The first 2 calls are free. The third call is 99 cents a minute.
We have PayPal and Zelle.
PayPal and Zelle.
I got.
All right.
Here we go.
AM 970 WSTX and more continuous music variety.
We now pause for this special announcement from Dr. Hubert Waddy, a board-certified family practitioner and wound care specialist at Agape Wellness Center and Wound Care. Now that the children are back in school, drivers need to be more careful not to drink and drive or use cell phones while driving. Stop for school buses that are loading and unloading, keep firearms away from children, and pay full attention to all traffic lights. Located across from Central High School in the former Midland Restaurant, call at 340-778-1932 for more information. Keeping our children and community safe is one of the highest obligations at Agape Wellness Center and Wound Care, where we put the care back in healthcare.
HH Tire and Battery. HH Tire and Battery.
HH Tire and Battery not only has the best Cooper tires and Deca batteries on St. Croix, but they also have the most honest and efficient service department for repairing and maintaining your vehicle. We repair all makes and models: brakes, tune-ups, cooling systems, suspension problems, CV joints, shocks, struts, and more. We do almost any type of maintenance and repair work for your vehicle. We are efficient and professional, and we understand that you need your vehicle repaired properly and in a timely manner. Give our service department a call at 778-5962 to schedule a day to drop your vehicle off in the morning.
HH Tire and Battery. HH Tire and Battery. For service that you can trust.
AM 970 WSTX, Christiansted, Frederickstead, and the Virgin Islands.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, welcome back. We went round the corner and come back, and everything is still in check, except that we have added to our population, and here we add some nice people, so I could get away from this guy who sometimes I have to. Anyhow, let me stop because when I got, I got to live with it.
You're smart.
He always been.
Anyhow,
Always been smart.
we have representatives from the Relay for Life here with us this morning, and we're gonna be talking about all things relay, as well as the 366 days a year that we are all in this struggle together. All right, good thing, good thing. I always look forward to this event because it's one of those things. People who ain't see each other for a long time get together. People meet new people in the process. People have a lot in common to talk about because we're all in this fight together. So, ladies, go ahead and introduce yourselves this morning, and let's get moving.
Good morning. First of all, Mr. Canton, I want to thank you for inviting us here. Like you said a minute ago, you always with us. You have been with us for a number of years, and I noticed you have on your shirt.
Yes. It's my uniform. Thanks to you all, I ain't walking around outside looking like somebody won't take me to Goodwill or something. Okay? But I have this my uniform, and pretty much consistently this what I wear. This, and I have the black one. And while you're focusing on it, the message, there are two messages that usually on these, follow my steps, and the other one, very, very important, no one walks alone.
Praise
That's
God.
totally
Thank
correct,
you.
totally correct. My name is Yvonne Webster Price, and for the past couple of years, I have been the chairperson of this association, with the exception of this year. I am no longer the chairperson. Miss Santana is now the chairperson. And the other, we have been named because of the money we have collected over the years. Fab Five, the executive, have been named the Fab Five by American Cancer Society. And on that, the Fab Five are comprised of Miss Santana, who is the chairperson. We have Kyra Francis, who is responsible for logistics. Martha Mills, who is responsible for teams. Rosalie Javois, who is here with me today, who is responsible for survivors, and Lucy Rodriguez, who deals with luminaries. A little later in the this morning, I'll give out the phone numbers for all of them for anyone who would like to contact them for any of the reasons we stated. But first of all, I would like to talk a little bit about the Relay for Life, which is scheduled for May 24th and 25th. It's at the St. Croix Educational Complex. It's been there every year for the last 24 years. Next year is our 25th year, and it's going to be big and better, I hope. Or we hope. We plan in big and better. Relay for Life, however, is this year 40 years old by the gentleman who started it stateside, but we have had it here now for the last 24 years. But prior to the relay, we are having a motorcade. We are having a motorcade on the 4th of May, starting at Fort Frederick and ending at Lagoon. We are hoping that it'll be big, really big. We are still asking persons to register for the motorcade. It starts at 2 o'clock sharp, because we're going to be driving up from Frederickson all the way to Lagoon, and when we get to Lagoon, we're going to have a little short ceremony. We have some persons who are cancer survivors who are going to talk about their experiences. I have been involved in this for a number of years, and when I have heard some of the persons speaking about their experiences, I have cried. It's very, very emotional, but it's good to hear what they have gone through so that persons can know what they may go through and what they need to do prior to reaching, for instance, stage 4. I mean, stage 4 is really serious. We don't want anybody to reach stage 4, so as soon as you find out that you have been diagnosed with cancer, no matter where it is, you need to seek help. And that's what we are here for. We are here to help as many people as we possibly can. We have, over the years, 2 years ago, we raised $375,000. And I must say that the money that we raise here stays here. Not St. Croix, but the U.S. Virgin Islands to help persons with cancer. And that's why we are so dedicated to doing this. Thus far, we have had 39 teams registered for the relay. And as of today, I'm looking at it now, we have raised $72,024. That's no money. Our goal this year is to raise $250,000. So I'm begging the public, I'm begging everybody out there, please, please help us raise this money. We need to make money because, you know, Mr. Canton, lots of persons here have cancer. You know, and we are here to help as much as we can. I have heard people talk about the help we have given them, and they are so appreciative of it. Let us continue doing this. I'm not going to talk too much about survivors because that's Miss Javois area. So I will give her the mic right now so she can talk about the survivors, and then we'll talk about the other areas.
You have to lean over.
And good morning, St. Croix. Good morning, Virgin Islands. And thank you again, Mr. Canton, for having us here. Knowing what I know about you, you would have it no other way. But we really need to say we appreciate it. I'm a 5-year cancer survivor. As Yvonne said, it's no respect of persons. And when I read and I see the persons, the young people who are being diagnosed, I cannot sit back and say, oh, I'm so grateful to have survived. As a matter of fact, being a survivor is not something we take for granted. Right now, I have at least 3 persons who, here in the Virgin Islands, have been survivors for many, many, many years and are now back in treatment again. For that reason, I could have stayed in my bed today. I said, no, I have to get up. I have to go out. I have to, if only one person who's battling cancer hears us this morning, it's my responsibility to say, identify yourself. Cancer is not something we need to hide. I publicize my home phone number. Matter of fact, when you call my number, it is strictly dedicated to survivors identifying themselves. You could leave as much information you feel like leaving or as little as you feel like leaving. The basic I need is your phone number, your name, your phone number, your mailing address, so that we can have you registered on the American Cancer Society list, and we can get you to come out and be honored. Really, Relay for Life is honoring the survivors and raising funds for those who are still battling this heinous disease and those who may become diagnosed this year or in the future. It is for the entire Virgin Islands. As a matter of fact, I get phone calls from people in St. Thomas all the time, wanting to know how they can apply for the assistance that is available to us. When I was diagnosed, I was a retiree from the government system. So I have good insurance, but good insurance doesn't do it all. So we are asking everyone, whether you are insured, underinsured, or uninsured, to come forward and register, because you're not only you're in for a great time. As Yvonne just mentioned, this year you have an additional opportunity to be a part of this grand event by joining the motorcade from west to east and having your family and your vehicle with you, showing solidarity. If you are the caretaker of a cancer survivor or someone battling cancer, identify them and so that we can make sure we have a t-shirt and a little gift bag for them on at the relay site, which we do every year. We sponsor a free and very delicious food, I may say, banquet. It used to be Yuli, and this year it'll be her daughter who will be organizing that meal. And it's sumptuous. It's a relaxed atmosphere where we, as survivors, get together and encourage each other. So please come out. American Cancer Society is the bigger label, but the people here on the ground, the onesie, twosie dollars, are the ones that make this event. Two consecutive years, I was the chairperson. I just got back home from my treatment, and I was honored with the opportunity to come back and serve. And, there are times you have to move on, but when you are a cancer survivor, you almost don't have the right to move on. So thank you for this opportunity, Dougie.
And I want to thank both of you for coming in. And I want you to know that the doors at WSTX are always open for the things that you have going on. So I anticipate that whether it's somebody coming in again or a call in, the week before the motorcade, that's 17th, 20.
No, the motorcade is on the 4th.
On the 4th, so that'll be next Thursday?
No, it's a weekend.
No, for his show.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying so that we can I will talk about it on the community calendar, but it's all.
And I'm going to leave flyers with you,
okay,
so you can talk about it. I work with those for you.
Okay.
But I did not give the phone numbers deliberately because I wanted the persons listening to grab a pen and a paper.
Right.
And now I'm going to give the phone numbers.
Exactly.
For those of you who have a pen and paper, you want to reach any one of the Fab Five or myself, you can call Miss Santana, who's a chairperson, and her phone number is 340-332-4626.
Just slow it down. Say it again.
Miss Santana, who is the chairperson, and her phone number is 340-332-4626. Kyra Francis, who is over logistics, her phone number is 340-626-0706. Martha Mills, who's over teams, her phone number is 340-690-6416. Rosalie Javois, who you heard a minute ago, who is over survivors, her phone number is 340-513-4620 or
340-692-2978 is my home phone number. And when you call, you'll recognize not only my voice, but I'll be speaking to the survivors on that voice message.
And Lucy Rodriguez, who deals with luminaries, and her phone number is 340-643-5504. My name is Yvonne Webster Price, and I am assisting wherever I can, but I'm right now dealing with the motorcade. My phone number is 340-642-1500. I specified which section each person works in, but you can call anyone for anything because they all know something about all of the different sections, and if they do not know, they will get to the person who you need to speak to, and that person will get back to you.
All right, fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about the Relief for Life experience. Okay. And one thing, not a correction or anything, just things happen. Relay for Life historically has been held at the track down at the complex, and I know my people, and they get accustomed to something and they don't like change, right? But one time we had a situation where the track was shut down for repairs, and we did it up here. And I gave Amy links to those videos so that you all could have them to see also and refer people to. So that 1 year. But other than that, we've been there at the complex doing what we do. And the one thing I would tell you as someone who goes there is it's about community. You will see people you haven't seen in a long time. You're going to see a lot of hugging up, a lot of walking together and talking and catching up because they're walking around the track doing their miles for cancer. You will have those who got the little nice thing you want to go by their tent because you might get a nice little treat when you go by and see them. And it is community to the point where what they have been doing since it's a Saturday, Sunday morning, you have a service.
Yes, we do.
All right. So it's really about community. There's something in camaraderie for everyone to come out in numbers like they usually do. All right. Now, one of the things that is especially touching is that when you come to the track and you see these little white bags that go around the track and lining the bleachers. Okay?
Spelling a word.
Right. Spelling, and those are the luminaries. And what happens is that at a certain point in the evening and the ceremony, they will turn down the lights and turn on those luminaries. Okay, so what I have here, and for those who are watching on YouTube, you'll see the video of the luminary where they line up with the torches, and you see the bags there glowing. And as they walk around the track, you'll see that the bags go all the way around the track, and they have a little candle in them. Each one of those bags represents an individual, a family, somebody you may know, may not know, but each one of those bags represents someone who is either in the fight, who are no longer with us because of the fight. All right, families giving respect and honor to those people who were in the fight or are in the fight. So when you see all of those bags, ain't that we just have a whole bunch of people back and put them out there to look nice. All right? This is symbolic to you in our community how pervasive the struggle with cancer is. Because people don't walk around with a t-shirt say, I have cancer. You know, it's people you see every day and you would never know because they're dealing with it maybe privately or otherwise you're just not in that family circle, whatever the case may be. So anyhow, move it up.
Before you move on from that, when the candles are lit, all the lights, like you said, are taken off. So you just see the candles alone. And at that time, the survivors walk around.
That's right.
The survivors walk around the thing, and it's very, very touching. I mean, it's unbelievable. People, I must say too that the luminaries, each candle is $5. You know, there's a cost to it, and we put the name, whether it's in memory of, if the person has already passed, or
if there's
and
two.
so you can see the survivors going around now, they're carrying the torch being led by the torches. Okay, and she said there's a cost. I'm saying there's a contribution.
Thank you.
We in
Thank
the fight
you.
together, it's a contribution. All right.
The other thing I would like to say about that is, about the entire Relay for Life, we are selling T-shirts for the public, for the general public who are not on a team. And sometimes we are at the market in Frederickstead, Plaza West, or we at Cost You Less and we at Kmart. We are going to be at Cost You Less and Kmart this Saturday and the next Saturday. You can purchase luminaries there also. As well as if you can purchase a T-shirt. Come into the relay. However, we are going to be selling T-shirts at the entrance, but you cannot enter the grounds unless you have sneakers. You cannot enter with high heel shoes or slippers or anything like that. Security will be there to make sure you walk with you have your sneakers on, because that's one thing Complex is very, very strict about.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's understandable because of the track.
The track,
It
yeah.
destroys the track if you wear with other shoes, if you come with other shoes. So you must wear sneakers. Anyone who want to reach us, please call any of the numbers that we read a minute ago.
Okay.
And you can't drive on the track.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No
No
tra-
vehicles
no
will be
vehicles
allowed
coming
in
that way.
on Saturday and
Right.
Sunday, but Friday for setting up, you can drive in the entrance, but
But
not
you have
on the
to carry-
track.
you have to carry
You
your
have
stuff.
to carry your stuff to your
Yeah.
tents.
Yeah, it's if you haven't been to the relay before, you should come and experience, especially the time with the luminary. It is touching. It is touching because this is about us, our people, and caring for each other and being in this fight together, because that's the only way we're going to win. All right, now. Part of the tools that we have for winning are certain things that, as a matter of education, you get from different organizations, including Relay for Life, exercise, diet, okay, exercise being opposite of sedentary life. You know, you can't sit down on the couch and watch, what do you call it, CNN all day long. And that ain't gonna cut it. And of course, your regular checkups.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's certain things as a matter of the when it comes to breast cancer, for instance, they show you how to, in essence, check for yourself, in the sense that you know your body, and when something saying this different, something going on here, listen and go and check it out. All right, and for the men,
Prostate.
hey,
Among other
the
things.
bigger one is prostate,
Prostate.
among other things. The problem with prostate is that we have to get past this mentality that somehow or the other it's okay for our better half to go to the doctor, and you know the things that the doctor might have to do.
Might.
But somehow
It's
or the other, if the doctor might have to do that for you, you ain't going doctor at all.
Don't come.
And I
Don't
want
come.
to say that even if you want to be stubborn about that, there's a thing called the PSA test. Okay? PSA test is a blood test. Okay. And when cancer is kicking up, or the body, meaning the prostate in particular, is getting closer to where cancer is in a good neighborhood, a friendly neighborhood, put it that way, the PSA goes up. And that's your way of knowing, hey, something going on, and I need to look into it. So you should have that done regularly. But men, I personally have seen too many members of our community, fathers, brothers, grandparents, uncles, that are no longer with us because of the mentality of, I ain't going to no doctor for whatever. Okay? This is this Caribbean thing that men are somehow indestructible. They don't need doctor. Whatever it is, we need to help them disabuse themselves of this kind of thinking and to be proactive. All right?
And you know something, Dougie? Also, to the women, you may not feel anything. You understand? Because 2017 we had hurricanes, and so the mammogram systems across the territory were closed, right? And so as soon as 2018 came, I was one of the first people to have my test done. I was working for FEMA, and when I got that call that afternoon, I was totally unsuspecting of anything, because I didn't feel anything different going on with me, you know. And when my doctor told me that the radiologist had called and said I need to get in a program, the only thing about that was troublesome is that I knew enough to know what that means. That means I would have to leave my family, my home, everything and go to the States. And I'm saying that to say the good news is that by the end of this year, our own center is scheduled to be reopened. I was in a meeting last night where the CEO for Schneider Hospital was present, and they are now getting ready to staff up and get the equipment. So there is a ray of hope that we will not have to leave home and family to get, the treatment. So that's the good news, and a good reason why you really need to support the Relay for Life, because even to go to St. Thomas, flying back and forth isn't easy. So you need a place to stay over there and so on and so forth. It's a lot cheaper though.
Well, we're kind of talking around something, and I want to focus a little bit more on it, because
Before
we have.
you do that,
Go ahead.
you guys mentioned you're going to be selling T-shirts.
Yes.
Let the public know how much the T-shirts are going to cost.
Certainly. The T-shirts are $20 each, no matter the size. We have some from size small to 3X.
Okay.
Small to 3X. And they can get a hold of you guys using any one of those numbers that you gave out?
That's correct.
To get-
And we don't leave home without them. In our vehicles right now, we don't leave home without them.
I wanted to talk about you with your cancer experience. I also was working at FEMA at the time, and you mentioned to me that you were going for your appointment with the doctor. And when the doctor called you, you walked over to my desk, took a sheet of paper on my desk, and just wrote a big C on it. Do you remember that?
I remember that. I remember that was a defining moment for me, and having to tell my father and my son about it. So up to today, my father says I have redefined cancer for him. I took him, he goes to the vegetable market every Saturday morning. So I made an appointment to meet him there, and I sat in the truck with him and walked him through what the plans were. And he just kept looking at me. He said all he knew about cancer is you start to buy your black and blue and purple clothing. And I redefined it, and up to today, it's a redefinition for me, because in my thinking, we are all going to move on from this life, but we don't need to go willingly.
Yes.
Don't go willingly. And we didn't come here, but
contribute
don't contribute to it. I had to change my lifestyle in ways that I wouldn't even mention.
Yes, I could imagine. But what where I was going is that we've been kind of talking around. We have $20 for a T-shirt. You think as a T-shirt costs $20 necessarily? It's a fundraising process that we're doing. And our folks say, well, we're raising all this money. What are we going to do with all this money? And this, you are alluding to it just now in terms of the services that you provide, the assistance that you provide. And the reality is, not only do we have in some ways a shortage of certain types of practices that you may need here in the Virgin Islands, and you have to go outside, but we have to face the reality that there are a lot of people in the Virgin Islands that are uninsured.
Yeah.
Which means that they don't have an option. Okay, the cost of travel, you go to the States, if you don't have family there, you ain't got nowhere to go, So in that context, you have but I'm gonna let you talk about it. Okay, in that sense. But I just wanted to maybe dramatize it a little bit for folks to understand that this is about you in your community. There, but for the grace of the Creator, go anybody. One of us.
Anybody.
So invest in yourself, participate, donate, volunteer, whatever the case may be. But I'm going to turn it over to you now to talk about the things that the ways in which you substantively contribute to the community here.
Okay, we are in the Virgin Islands. We are a subsidy of American Cancer Society. And the money that we raise here, I said it before, stays here. Because some people have questioned that over the years. I have questioned it. A lot of us get envelopes from American Cancer Society to send a donation and thing. And I tell people, when you get that, just bring it to us here. Don't send it to them, because that goes stateside. Okay? But when you give it to us here, we monitor it, and we know how much money we get on a regular basis. We get a report from them as to how much money has been paid out to persons who have cancer, who have had cancer. They help, they give financial assistance once you get detected, once you get early prevention, if possible. We try our best for that. Some of us have had personal experiences with family members who have had cancer, and that's why we're so dedicated to this purpose. Now, the financial assistance involve lodging overseas, transportation, and medical attention. You get a grant to help you. You may not get the full amount that you need because it may be extensive, but whatever you get helps, because the money is here to help as many persons as possible. Now, you may ask, how can I get in contact with someone to get assistance? The same numbers I gave out a minute ago, you can call, because there are some of us from the Fab 5 who fill out the application and submit it for you, or you can call the 1-800 number, which is 1-800-227-2345. However, I would encourage you instead to get in contact with one of the Fab 5. Now, unfortunately, we do not have an office space. Yet. We are working on it. We used to have an office space in Sunny Isles, but after the hurricane in 2017, the roof went over that building just east of what you call it, Island Medical Center. The building right there where the top of the roof is still gone. We had a spot in there, but the roof is not back on yet, so we don't have an office space. We have contacted quite a few people to try to see if they'll give us a little spot. We only want a little room, and we don't need it every day. But for now, to be honest, when we get a call from someone who's diagnosed with cancer, we immediately try to meet with that person, fill out the application, and we're doing it in the back of our car. That's not good enough.
Okay.
Well, it's not good enough, but it shows
you
your determination.
Yes,
You know, it's
exactly.
determination.
I will do you a solid. I work for VIU said, Virgin Islands University Center for Excellence in Developmental Disabilities. Give us a call.
Oh, come, give me the number. That's all you have.
340-692-4267.
And who should I ask for?
Miss Williams.
Miss Williams.
Yes.
We don't, like I said, we don't need.
What's Williams' first name?
Sharon. She has we have a conference room you can borrow. You know, it'll be private. We can close the door and everything, and you can meet with your clients there. Just ask her.
Mike.
Huh?
Mike.
Mike?
Yeah. You like Mike, right?
If I like Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, they can hear me. This Mike picking me up.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, excellent. Well, we will certainly get in contact with Miss Williams.
Yeah.
You can depend on that. Yeah, because we do, we don't like doing it in the back of a car, but we like doing it. Actually filling out the applications and getting it on to national so that they can start the process of giving these persons help, because some people do need financial help.
Well, this is what you do. It's a matter of being effective. You know, it's nice if you have the trappings, but even without the trappings, the bottom line is the fight goes on, and whatever tools you have, those are the tools that you use in that fight.
We're located, on the road going towards the DMV. You know where Spicy Grill is?
Oh, yes.
Across the street from Spicy Grill, there's a 2-story building.
Yes.
We are in the bottom left-hand corner.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I know
That's
exactly where that
convenient.
is.
That's very convenient.
It's centrally located
Yeah,
as well.
basically, it's centrally located. You know, we're part of UBI, but we're not on campus.
Okay. All right. Well, the important thing, folks, is to understand that the function of the Relay for Life is about empowering the community and assisting the community when it comes to
motorcade.
dealing with cancer, and that they do have services that are very, very important. And you don't ask, you can't get. All right. So we let you know. So if you have the need, that you can have anywhere from people to talk to, people with experience, people that conduct themselves in a confidential manner, in that context. So just checking off all of those things. The bottom line is, don't sit down there if you have a fear. Do not get stuck in your fear. Step out and look about your health. Go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to talk. I know that we probably have to leave soon because you probably have another.
Me running out.
Okay, please don't run us. I want to talk about the motorcade a little bit again. It's like I said, it's May 4th. It's a Sunday. And we are going to be lining up at, where Carnival is in Frederickstead. We're going to be lining up at 12:30.
The place where
Where the Carnival is down there.
Okay.
Fort Frederick?
The village itself.
Yeah, right.
In the village parking lot. Okay.
Right
Okay,
there.
Right there.
We're going to be lining up. And I have noticed that in the past, people register on site rather than in advance.
Martha?
We would prefer for people to register in advance, but if you want to come there and register, we will be there from 12:30 registering people. We are going to be driving off 2 o'clock sharp because we are driving from there all the way to Lagoon. It's a little bit of a distance, and there's some villages that people have asked us to pass in. We're going to have music, and we're making one stop to the entrance of Machuchal. Right where they have the solar park?
Yes.
As you would turn in to go there, there's a little opening right there. Right there. Because we have we have 2 Machuchal teams, and they want us to come in there. They're going to be set up there with their music and everything, and they are going. If you don't want to come all the way Frederickstead to join, you can go there and join. That's the only next place you will join. It's going to be police escorted. Police going to be with us. Fire is going to be with us, so it's going to be secure. Okay? But please, if anybody want to join the motorcade, you can...
Wait, police going to be there? So I can't take the chance to drive?
No, you can't take the... But guess what? I would love for you to come and drive with me. Oh boy, my train of thought just left.
The price.
Because he made me laugh.
The price per vehicle.
Yes, there's a price to the vehicle. Again, a donation. Because again, this money goes to help people, and we have cars at $50 a car. The cars can be decorated, and there's going to be prizes given out. Best decorated car, etc., etc. I'm not going to go too much into what all the prizes are going to be, but there are going to be prizes. When we leave Frederickstead, we come up to Machuchal. People can join there. Then we go straight up to Lagoon, and we're going to have a short ceremony. Most of the speakers at the ceremony are cancer survivors or relatives of cancer survivors. That too is very emotional. But that's for the motorcade. So anyone who would like to get in contact with me with regards to the motorcade, again, my number is 340-642-1500.
Okay. All right. Well, if not next week, we will be talking. Once I get the motorcade information, I'll be talking about the motorcade. Okay. So if nobody's able to come in or call in next week, we will be talking about the motorcade for certain once I have the information to repeat it. Okay.
And this is a priceless moment, as you saw me take the call, something I don't do. That individual was calling to ask Yvonne to come pick up a check. This is powerful. I'm getting goosebumps. Thank you so much.
Okay, good thing. Definitely. But if we can swing it before to have you in here one more time before the relay itself, one of the things I would like you to come prepared with, if you're able, is the list of the teams.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we have
and so we can big up the teams
Certainly.
and the people who are involved and the institutions that go out of their way to help sponsor and do that type of thing. I want people to know. I want them who ain't doing it to get jealous about the other people and come running
jump in.
and jump in.
Jump in.
Talking about that,
Okay.
Mr. Canton, I would like at this time to big up especially one team.
Mhm.
One
You
team.
can't call one team name, you know.
But
Don't say the name,
there's
say the
a
dollar.
reason why I'm doing
Okay,
it.
okay. I'm
The-
gonna make
the-
an exception.
No, listen.
I'm gonna take the cost for you this time.
I am not to call the team name, but the commitment fee. You have to have a team. You have to have a minimum of 15 persons, a maximum of 22. Each person is committed to raise $100 plus the cost of the T-shirt. So let's say a team pays in about $1,700 for 15 people. If it's more, it may be $2,100.
Okay.
Just giving because the T-shirts for them is cheaper than the $20. Okay, and one team. You ready? What to date? That one team has raised $16,395.
Whoa.
Commitment.
That's
That team where they were committed to make under $2,000, but they went out and beg, got, and to date they have raised $16,395. I have another team that went out and made $7,915. Another one who went out and made $6,145. Just to give you an idea, the other teams that I have that made money made like how much they were supposed to make.
Okay. Well, I like people to know the team names and everything else.
We'll do
especially
that in the end.
Yeah. So definitely, if you can, we can get that.
I have
meet
the
again.
information. I can give you the
Okay.
information.
All right.
But just to give you an idea how some teams are really
Really?
working, really begging. You know, others are coming in, yes. We have other teams also, but these are the ones who are really out there helping us.
Yeah. Well, all of them are helping. All of them
Oh,
are
yeah.
helping.
Oh, yes,
All of them
they are.
helping.
Every
Yeah,
penny
I want
counts.
to stress that. Because this is come with what you have. Come with what you have.
Yes.
Okay, if it's you, it's one more soldier that this with us in the fight.
Right.
You have the dollars, bring the dollars too. Okay, you have the volunteerism, bring that too.
That's
you know,
it.
everything because
That's
we
it.
need it all.
I have a donation box when I'm selling T-shirts. I sell T-shirts at Plaza West at the market on a regular basis, and I have a volunteer box. And persons, when they go in to shop and they come out, they may throw in 50 cents. I don't say anything about it. I tell them thank you very much because every penny counts.
Every penny
It
counts.
adds up, you know. Some people may that's all they have. Some people say, I wish I could give you more. I said, don't worry about it. We appreciate whatever you give.
And the difference about the Relay for Life, and I'll say Virgin Island Relay for Life, is that it's the grassroots dollars and cents. I was a member of another relay in Atlanta while I was there getting my care, and it was corporations that used to sponsor theirs, and they used to sell things on the relay ground. We don't do that. It's the little people who are supporting our relay. So I just wanted to mention that.
All right, fantastic. It really is great when you all come in and share with the community this way. I know you have your other presence. The word of mouth is important. The social media is important. This is important. I don't know if you plan to do any TV stuff, but we could talk about that in that context. But keep on just hitting that barrel and making noise, and people look around to see it.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny. Like I said that, you know, you don't want to destroy a good thing. But once upon a time, noise was synonymous with something going on.
Right.
People coming looking to see.
Right.
You know, in that kind of I say in the spirit of that, because we want noise in our head
And the night.
you know, some of these folks, you pass by institution and there's nobody inside, but the noise blasting in the whole neighborhood. No, but keep on definitely speaking out, because there are a lot of challenges that we have to deal with from day to day. And one of the things that happens is that people get distracted or attracted to whatever else is going on. And in that sense, coming out and talking about these things is so important. It's just a reminder factor alone. A reminder factor. Make sure that nobody is saying, oh, last night was Relay for Life. Oh, I totally forgot.
And I get that all the time. I go on Facebook. I tell my friends and family in St. Thomas, don't come telling me after the fact you didn't know, you know, because some of them plan to come over, and we need to say that people come from St. Thomas and St. John to participate in our relay. And we have sometimes you're afraid that the rain may fall or whatever. No. We've been there through all kinds of weathers. That's why we have each team having a tent, you know, and sometimes the winds blow away our tents, and we still, you know, go through to the Sunday. So there's no excuse, because you know what? Cancer makes excuse, it comes at you.
And also, on the same note, we encourage people to come from St. Thomas and St. John, because like I said before, the money we make here is not for St. Croix. It's for the entire Virgin Islands. So we encourage persons who can come from St. Thomas and St. Croix. And St. John, sorry.
Just like they do for festival events.
You know?
I see all my friends then, but we appreciate you coming for festival also.
Right. No, well, this is, but it's fantastic that we do that. I know that St. Thomas in the past have had Relay for Life, but I don't know that they have one scheduled for this.
No, they will again. There is interest there.
Right.
Yeah,
but
there's interest.
But the one thing I want you to get across to the community by saying this is that this is a Virgin Islands fight.
It is, absolutely.
Okay? So in that context, come on over from St. Thomas. That's right. You know we got good food over here, right? Okay.
Oh, no, don't go down that road. Don't go down that road. You're going to get us in trouble, doggy.
Anyhow, but come. We got good people over here, right? So,
that too.
So that's two things going for us, okay? But definitely come on over and join us, because numbers is important. Numbers in person, numbers in spirit, numbers in the fight. I can't say that enough. And anybody who feel like we're talking about something that referring to other people, I'm telling you.
No, that's us.
I'm telling you, it's us.
It's us.
It's us. It's not everybody who's in the struggle is going out there publicizing that they're in the struggle. Okay, the doctors could tell you, but they can't because of privacy and everything else. But I'm just saying, they know the numbers, they understand, and pay attention in the community, because we had the presentation that was done at UVI several months ago with Department of Health, right? And it was very, very educational. I am so happy that they put it on the government channel for those who were able to watch it on the government channel. The various presenters, and for the men, Dr. Gallagher was a very good presenter. We also, they also had a person who is a survivor of prostate cancer.
He is going to be at the motorcade speaking.
At the motorcade. Okay, fantastic, because they need to hear about it. They need to hear about it and see a face and say, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised, because people think that somehow in their mind, it happened to some kind of other people. They ain't other people, it's us.
And the other thing is, right here in the Virgin Islands, we have a number of healthcare providers who are either survivors or battling. You know, I belong to a national organization of over 1,000 people now. It makes me emotional when I talk about it, because the ages of the people who are in that forum, because that's the best forum they have available to them to speak about their condition and to hear the experiences of other people. And I see local Virgin Islanders who are healthcare providers are members of that committee as well, you know. So it's not something to be ashamed of. But just support the cause. Support the cause is what I would ask.
All right. Well, Relay for Life, folks. We got a motorcade coming up on the 4th, all right? And then after that, we have Relay for Life on the 24th and 25th. Now, keep in mind, we said 24th and 25th. That means that we walking and talking and otherwise having a good community effort from that evening of the 24th all the way into overnight. Overnight, you want come prepared. Your little sleeping bag to take a little rest, or your little chair to take a rest in between. But come on out. They're gonna be there. Don't miss the program, especially when they turn down those lights and the luminaries are there, and the survivors take their walk around the track.
I would like to say, and I would be remiss if we didn't say we're going to have St. Croix best DJ spending the night with us.
All right, good thing.
I know I may be getting in trouble because there are very good DJs on St. Croix, but he is always with us.
Yeah,
So you have to mention
I
him.
didn't know I was coming.
Yeah, you're welcome. He needs to get a little rest, 5-minute rest, so that's where you would fit in. Yeah.
Actually, I didn't mention him before, but he is in charge of entertainment, the ones he's talking about.
Okay, good job.
But we have several DJs, and Stanley is going to be there.
All right.
I'm just being facetious. I do a little DJing myself.
Well, talk to Bogo. He might slip you in.
Okay.
Bogle?
Yeah, Bogle is the one who's in over entertainment.
Okay.
Well, you know. What was my father in the ground if he hear I play music again?
He has a strong heart. He stays there with us through thick and thin.
Yes, he's
Bogle.
been with
He's
us
the
for
guy.
years.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's been definitely a breath of fresh air to see you all in here again. It's been a while. Okay. And looking forward, hopefully, like I said, if we can do something before the actual relay. The video that I played there, the young lady that sang during the march around the track, okay, she sang 2 songs. One was Goodness of God, and the second one I don't remember right now, but it was as though we had the original artist there.
Wow.
She had such a lovely
I think
voice.
she's scheduled again for this year.
The nurse?
Yeah.
That,
Oh, yeah.
Miss Burke was trying to get in contact with me.
Her voice just
Yes,
went
it
through
was. It
everybody.
was.
Don't forget you got somebody coming in 10 o'clock.
Yeah. No.
The
that's
host.
Closing down. Yeah. So I'm saying that as in, folks, it is an experience. You live here on St. Croix. Enjoy all that St. Croix has to offer, and appreciate that all that St. Croix can do for you. Come out and be a part of the Relay for Life on the 24th and 25th. All right? And don't forget the motorcade before that. All
Thank
right?
you very much.
Thank you so much.
Dougie. We appreciate being here, but like I say, you've always been with us, and we know you will always be with us. Thank you.
Good thing. All right. Till next time.
Okay.
Till next time. Whether it's before the motorcade, at the motorcade, before the next show, anytime. Okay? All right. Look
Have
forward
a
to
great
hearing
day,
from you.
ladies.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
And I'm looking for you at the motorcade.
All right.
Yeah, well, see,
Back at you.
the man tell me the guy over, what's his name? Arthur Joseph tell
He's
me.
gonna be there.
He tell me to text him and let you know when I go and drive so he could stay home.
Because he's one of the police officers that the chief assigned to us.
Okay. All right.
Thank
Good
you
thing.
very
Have a
much.
blessed holiday weekend.
You do the same.
All right. Good thing.
Right.
Yeah, Gerard.
Talk
Did you do any random acts of kindness this week, Gerard?
No, I just want to remind the public, don't forget, if you or your loved one have considerable hearing or vision loss, the Icon Connect program is for you. Visit iconconnect.org or give us a call at 340-692-4267 to inquire to find out if you qualify to get a free, remember, free, honor the 11th commandment, free iPhone, iPad, computer, whatever it is, for your loved one or yourself to accomplish distance communication. And with that, until next time.
All right, folks. WSTX AM 970, your community-minded station. Reflections signing off for this week. And Creator willing, we'll be back next week. Hopefully, you'll be there to welcome us. All right.